Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Huckton Henshins. This is part two of Rider Retrospectives on Kamen Rider Ghost. Clearly, if you're watching this, you hopefully watched part one. If not, go back and watch that. It's not going to make much sense if you haven't watched part one. Also, mild spoilers going forward for Kamen Rider Ghost and the forms and narrative things and stuff like that. Anyway, part one was on narrative slash writing and characters. This part two, we're going to talk about the aesthetics of the show and the music slash sound design. So first off, I want to talk about these suits. These are some of my favorite rider suits in all of Rider. I love, love, love these suits. These are our main riders. You got Ghost in the middle, Spectre on the side of him, that's in blue, and then Necrom next to him. You can kind of see that. I know it's on my phone, and I know that I'm a nimwit doofus that doesn't know how to edit things and put things in here so you can see it, but whatever. Anyway, kind of see it from that. So I really like the design of the suits. I like the idea that it's the icon releases a little ghost hoodie thing that attaches to the user and gives them some kind of ability. Um, Ghost has his main sword, and I think it was a blaster too. But anyway, Spectre similar clearly, and then Necrom is a little different with the little eyedropper thing, which I like that. I like that it's the icons are eyes, and then he has like an eyedropper that's like opening it up that way. I thought was really creative the way they did that. But the suits are beautiful. They all have this like really nice vibrant color to them for their primary color. The orangey reddish for Ghost. The really got nice electric looking blue for Spectre, and then Necrom mainly the white, silver, and then the green in his. All of them feel very ghost-like, very spectral, very spirity, very Halloweeny. I actually like to honestly watch episodes of this show sometimes around Halloween because it just has that feel for the show. Um, and I really like the driver. The main ghost driver is really good. Um, and I like how the difference between how Takaru transforms as opposed to Makoto. Makoto just dropping the icon and doing that, and then Takaru, since he's from his dad was like a monk basically before him or a spirit guide, whatever. He's all very like hand movements, and Necrom is a little different in having the wrist mounted transformation device, the Mega Loader, um, and puts it in. Yes, sir. I like that whole thing, and the sounds for it are really really cool. I love what the Ghost Driver sounds like. The oh, thinking about it right now. I love it. I love it. And I love how Spectre's is different, same driver, but because of the different icon, it's a different noise for him. It really gives you a sense of how like more serious and different he is from Ghost. And Necrom's is different too. So there's a line in his that's something about crush the invader. So you get like an idea of like he doesn't want anything to do with humans or who he sees as the invaders. Um, so yeah, I really like overall how the suits look like, and the drivers are super cool. The gimmicks, the icons are super cool. It's one of the seasons like Bill that I kicked myself so hard. Get it? Rider kick. Oh. Um, that I kicked myself really hard not ever buying merch for. And now, of course, that's a thing with Toku merch that sucks, is that when the season's on, pretty mostly affordable prices. But when it gets past that season, near the end of it or something like that, like near the end of Geo's run when Grand Geo was unveiled, it was like an alright price at first, and I waited too long, and all of a sudden it was like $100, and it's like, whoa, I don't, whoa, oh my god. Same thing with this. At some point, someday, I will own a Ghost driver and a Build driver. I don't know if I'm gonna own all the gimmicks for it, but just at least the main driver and the main transformation piece for it. But I love the driver and how it looks. I love the eye in it and the eye, the open thing, and the Daigon and all the voices to it are super cool. I love that the Mega Loader, like I said, is an eyedropper thing. And again, using that eye aesthetic in a different way for a third rider or tertiary rider, however you want to use the nomenclature there. So yeah, overall, the suit design and the gimmicks and the belts are super cool. They don't seem too techy. They seem very like fantasy based. Some of the other ones that Takaru gets, again, mild spoilers going forward for riders, their names, their forms, stuff like that. Some of the other drivers he gets, like the Ghost Driver G or whatever it is, where he gets the grateful form, where it's all the icons together in one form. That one looks a little more, but it looks more steampunky. That's why I like is that we have this like steampunk tech aesthetic with the Ganma and how the drivers work, because that's where his stuff comes from, and the Ghost Driver G, and then the icons even. Um, And I like that the icon houses the spirit of a historical icon. I like that IEYE dash con and then historical icon ICON. It's very very subtle, very good on the nose pun, and very good marketing. I'm very impressed by that. It's one of the reasons actually that I think, and I think I at one point kind of wrote a little bit of one, that I think that Ghost could work pretty well for an adaptation. You might have to change a few things up, but for the most part, a lot of there's a good chunk of the historical icons in it that are actually American ones. There's like Billy the Kid, Robin Hood, like Mozart or something like that. Like there's a bunch of them in there that are like well-known icons that people would know about. That if they don't live in Japan, they would know still. And if the ones they don't, you're still teaching kids about history. So there's another thing to pull into the show if you wanted to. um, so I really enjoy that. I like how what they're going for with the very, the spiritual nature, the very creepy nature of things, how the transformation works. When you see Ghost at first, or when he's like, I think when he premiered in Drive, in the end of Drive, he's kind of scary looking, and you're kind of not sure who he is and what he's doing. And I like how he moves around. He can float and stuff, and kind of uh, move around in that way. And each of them have their own very different fighting style, and I like that too. They do a good job of differentiating them. That's for the next part of the series, part 3. Um, so get on track, Zach. Anyway, so again, suits are amazing. I love how they look. The designs are great. The colors are great. The belts are really cool and all the different parts to them. The icons are really cool. Some of my favorites are definitely the uh, oh, what is it? Oh, his final form one, the um humanity one, the Muteki humanity little like little thing is really cool. I feel like a jerk that I don't know what that is, but yeah, I need to look that up. I want to talk about that because I really like that form, and I like how that final. Oh God, if I can type. 1 second, you guys are gonna go on this ride with me. Hold on. uh, there it is, right there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that thing a lot. Oh God, you can't see that at all. Anyway, it's a really cool form, and it's basically just like the idea behind it is really cool of being like encapsulated by the idea of like humanity and like how strong humanity can be. He kind of creates an icon on his own, which I like as a final form. It's very like it's got this rainbow aesthetic to it, and it's this like sparkly aesthetic, and I really like it. Spectre forms are okay. His one with Houdini is pretty good, but it gets kind of thrown away and not even thought about once he gets Deep Spectre. Um, and then Necrome, of course, he gets a couple, but then he barely even gets his like personal weapon until like way farther into the series, and then doesn't even get an upgrade. Was it Yujo Burst or whatever it was? Until like some random V Cinema. Like they always hurt my poor third and tertiary riders like that. Come on, man. Alon deserved better. um, but anyway, the forms are really nice. I like how each icon is differentiated. You can tell by what it looks like. It's got like a little letter or some kind of little symbol that differentiate it from each icon, and then it makes the suit look different. You have the Mozart or whatever that one is of it's got like the piano aesthetic to it. He creates music. You have the Edison one with electricity and lightning. You have the Newton one. You have Billy the Kid, and all of them look completely different. Billy the Kid has turned the one weapon into like a gun. The other one makes it more like a bow and arrow for that final attack. Each one is very unique, does very different things, and has a very different aesthetic and look from each other. And also, depending on who's using the icon between Ghost and Spectre, the forms look a little different too, which I like. I really, really like. I also like later on he starts to use Token Boost, and then with that can also use another icon. So I really like that because then you get the red undersuit of Token Boost with adding on the form of whatever icon he's using. So yeah, overall he gets some really good forms. Sakura does, and so does Spectre for the most part. His real true final form, um, Sin Spectre, is okay, but it's just a repaint of Ghost, and that kind of bothers me. So overall, I really like the suits. I love the what was I saying? The belts and the gimmicks. Now moving on to music and sound design, I love it. the theme song is like one of those just feels really awesome type, makes you feel good type theme songs. You know, it really gets you into the mood of the show and makes you feel awesome. Um, and I like the overall use of the music stings throughout when there's fights, when there's not fights, for comedy, for sad moments, for happy moments. And I like the sound design of the belt. I like how it talks the bachi mina and the brow, 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 the music with it, and how it differentiates itself from bachi mino with Spectre, and then even more so with Tengan Mega Ulode with Necrom. Really like that as well. They do a good job of like uniquely identifying each rider by how they look and how they sound. Again, that's why I said before, it's one of the ones I kick myself for not getting the merch for because I love the driver and how it works. But overall, yeah, I really love the aesthetics of this show and really enjoy what they were going for in terms of looks, in terms of overall feel. There's definitely here and there throughout it a very otherworldly, spectral, very creepy feel. Not all of it's that way. There are some episodes that kind of just throw that away entirely and it's just fight, fight, fight. But it still kind of tries to keep that as we go. Most of the monsters that they fight, the Ganmas, are all based off of like, you know, demons and Japanese folklore monsters and ghosts and blah blah blah. So like we get a lot of those different variations in there. And they do a good job, like I said, of differentiating each one, and it really works pretty well and ties the season together very well. It's very neatly put together design wise. And like I said, in terms of suits, belts, gimmicks, the effects for the Omega Drive and all that, um, and the final, you know, like their attacks, the effects for the attacks, the music, the sound, you know, the sounds for each different thing work really well. And overall, that's probably its strongest point. Its story, probably not. At least to me, I'll still always hold a special place in my heart because it's technically the first Rider season I've ever watched, other than I guess technically Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, but that's really an adaptation of Ryuki. Um, but I would say that the aesthetics of the show and how it looks are its strongest piece. So yeah, so that's kind of the end of this one. I know I probably rambled a little bit, and I do apologize for that. I'm going to try and make these better and more succinct as we go. The next part is going to be part three is going to focus on the last point I want to talk about, which is the fight choreography for the season, and then my final thoughts and kind of a rating for the season out of 10, like I do most of my ratings. But yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you guys thought of the suits. Did you guys love the suits and how everything looks and sounds in the show? Were you not the biggest fan? Clearly, you know from watching this how I feel, but just in general. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy the content. I love making it for you. Subscribe for more Toku content. And, you know, share if you'd like, please. That'd be really awesome. You know, like the video, things like that. Watch it, you know, when you can. Watch it all the way through, parts, whatever. But as always, stay hooked on Henshins. I'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you in part 3, Rider Retrospectives, Kamen Rider Ghost, part 3, talking about fight choreography. One of my favorite things ever. Anyway, bye-bye.